Leagues VI Demonic Pacts drops April 15th, and this guide is all you need to get ahead. I'll show you the exact areas, relics, echo bosses and demonic pacts you'll be abusing for maximum speed and fun, making that elusive dragon trophy well within your reach. This Leagues is themed around Yama, the master of pacts, and he's starting us off in his lair after having burned down Mistalin and its civilians. Starting off with areas, every player auto unlocks 2 regions, Valamor from the start and Karamja at your first area unlock that you get after completing 80 tasks. Then you can unlock up to 3 more, and in this video we're going to be choosing Kandarin, Wilderness and then Tyrannwyn in that order. Valamor is completely loaded. We've got skilling methods such as Hunter Rumors and Thieving Wealthy Citizens, as well as PvM methods through Slayer and boss encounters such as the Moons of Peril and the Moxley Atoll. We also have access to the Echo variant of the Moxley Atoll, which will be our first Echo boss. Karamja is familiar to anyone who's played RuneScape before. It's where we're going to be going for our first early game goal of attaining the infamous Fire Cape after defeating Jad, the Destroyer of Dreams. Kandarin is our first region pick, and it exists almost entirely to supercharge our early game through synergizing with our relic choices. Kandarin is also what gives us access to the strongest DPS build, and surprisingly early too. We'll get onto that later in the video. Wilderness unlocks the Wilderness Slayer Cave, the key to hitting 93 Slayer fast. Multi-combat chinnable Slayer monsters like Dust Devils, Jellies, Necreals and Abyssal Demons, all in one spot. Combined with certain relics, echo items and demonic pacts, we can teleport directly to the shortcuts nearby and drastically speed up our Slayer kills. 93 Slayer does seem daunting, but in this League season, it will only be a matter of hours to get there. Tyrannwyn is our final pick, and it really goes off once our build, relics and demonic pacts are online. We'll be getting 7.5 million GP per hour AFK pickpocketing elves. We'll also get 10 times elf teleport crystals, which translate into 50 million crafting and smithing XP in probably less than an hour. Tyrannwyn is also home to the Echo Corrupted Hunt, which drops the Crystal Blessing. This is a key late game item. Let's talk about relics. There's 8 tiers, every pick has a purpose. Let's run through them. Tier 1 we're going with Abundance. All non-combat skills are boosted by 10 permanently, and you generate 2 coins per every XP that you gain. So, you're doing tasks earlier than you should be able to, and you're printing GP the entire time. For tier 2 we're going to be going with Woodsman. You get 100% hunter success rate, double loot, double XP from traps, and Hunter Rumors give double XP as well. This is how we blitz through Valamor Rumors early and stack double black Chinchompas once Wilderness is unlocked. The woodcutting and firemaking synergy is also not one to laugh at, as you get full firemaking XP for free whilst you cut logs. The real value of this relic, however, is for the synergy with Abundance and Kandarin, allowing you to buy arrow tips, arrow shafts and feathers, essentially buying you a quick 200 million fletching XP for free. Our tier 3 pick is the map of Alacrity. It teleports you to extremely useful agility shortcuts around the game. This is how we instantly access the Wilderness Slayer Cave chinning spots, and it's the engine of our Slayer grind to 93. At 93 Slayer we unlock the Thermonuclear Smoke Devil boss, and more importantly its Echo variant, so that we can get its insanely overpowered Echo items. For tier 4 we're going with Transmutation. This is our Swiss Army knife. Alchemic Divergence upgrades resources up to 10 at a time into a higher tier. Convergence goes the other way. In practice, you can convert regular bones and ashes. They're transmuted into superior dragon bones and infernal ashes, which gives tons of insane prayer XP. Ores can go up to Runite for smithing and bolt tips. Logs go up to redwoods for firemaking and fletching tasks. Raw fish to dark crabs for cooking. Low level gems up to dragonstone, and green dragon hides up to black for crafting. And you also get infinite runes at 0 cost. You can level up an air rune all the way up to a wrath rune, and you don't even need 95 rune crafting. This relic patches up every skilling gap in the build and supercharges our best DPS mage build, which needs wrath runes to be truly powerful. Tier 5 is the easiest pick of my life. We're going with Larcenist. You get 100% thieving success, auto re-pick pocket, everything is noted, and loot is multiplied by 10, including clue scrolls. So synergizes with Kandarin, we can thieve Wealthy Citizens for easy clues, Gnomes for medium clues, Paladins for hards, Heroes for elites. If you manage to get the Elite RD diaries done, the coin pouch cap hits 140 instead of 28. That's 25-minute AFK pickpocket sessions in some places. Larcenist solves smithing and crafting as one of the fastest 99s in the game. You can even take it to 50 mil or 200 mil depending on how many shards you end up leaving. Honestly, I think this relic is one of the most broken in the league. Tier 6 is an obvious one for our route. We're going with Culling Spree. We're going to be able to choose our Slayer task from 3 options, one of which is always a boss task. Kill count is selectable between 5 and 200, so you can do 5 for your craps tasks or even your boss tasks, and then 200 for any good ones, especially the burstable ones, or chinnable ones should I say. You get all imbued Slayer helmet effects built in without wearing one, including the damage boost to all 3 styles. All reward shop perks are free, including the rune pouch, herb sack and looting bag. Superiors have a 50% chance to spawn another superior on death and always drop between 1 and 3 elite clues. This relic is what powers us through 93 Slayer, working hand in hand with Woodsman for the chins and Map Up for the teleports, and then also we get the additional elite clues too. Tier 7 is the biggest noob trap in the world. Go for Reloaded. Do not even choose the other one. That's what we're going to call it, the other one. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Reloaded, which allows us to grab any relic from a lower tier, and then we're going to pick Endless Harvest. You don't have to choose Endless Harvest if you don't want to, you could choose something else, but I think for this build, the synergies are just too good. So you get double resources, double XP, and you gather endlessly even after a node depletes. So it's AFK and it's really good XP and resources. I know people will still go flow state, or the other one, for the 2-tick gathering rate, but Endless Harvest doubling of XP and resources is simply faster in almost all cases. If you chose flow state, you're just choosing a worse option for no reason. You can also AFK for 25 minutes at a stretch with Endless Harvest, so it's just better. Finally, for our last tier, which is tier 8, we're going to be going for Minion. Minion summons what it says, a powerful minion. It has an attack speed of 1.8 seconds or 3 ticks. Has a minimum hit of 3 and a max hit of 10, which can be increased to 20. You just need to feed the little imps some Zami items. It's a max amount of 5 items, and that increases your max hit to 20. The DPS adds up to around 6.5 extra DPS. The real hidden power is the auto looting. Everything is noted, including bones and ashes, which feeds straight into transmutation, which we picked earlier. So every kill passively generates prayer XP. It's completely automatic, completely broken. You can't go wrong. Let's get into Echo bosses. They are the souped up version of existing bosses. You grab the region's Echo Orb from the normal boss first, then unlock its corrupted version with more difficult mechanics and better loot, giving access to its unique Echo item. Here are the key items for this build. The Infernal Tech Patul drops from the Echo Amox Liatul in Varlamore. It's your early game melee weapon for moons and early progression while the build comes online. King's Barrage. It drops from the Echo King Black Dragon in the Wilderness. It hits twice with 1 attack with Ice Barrage like freeze effects. Combined with certain Demonic Pacts, which we'll be showing later, you can max hit every single time and with almost max accuracy. You pretty much never miss, and when you do hit, it's a max hit. Even if you don't go with the King's Barrage as a weapon, you can use the Sunlight Hunter crossbow with the same Demonic Pacts that we mentioned to get through the fight caves. This will get our fire cape quickly, and then we can start throwing double black chins to power towards 93 Slayer. Devil's Element and the Shadow Flame Staff. These two drop from Echo Thermo Nuclear Smoke Devil, locked behind 93 Slayer in Kandarin. The Devil's Element adds a 30% elemental weakness to all NPCs on attack, essentially making every monster in the game weak to elemental spells. The Shadow Flame Staff throws a secondary attack every hit, which does 40% damage of the first. It also applies whatever elemental weakness a monster is most vulnerable to, regardless of what spell you cast. So if I cast an air spell on a monster with a 30% air weakness and an 80% fire weakness, it's going to get hit with the 80% accuracy and damage boost that the fire gives on top of my normal hit. It doesn't take the air weakness. So it just essentially does the max amount of damage you possibly can. At 2-tick with the right Demonic Pacts and a high mage prayer build, this is the highest DPS setup in the game that we know of. Getting these two is the entire mission of the early to mid game grind. That's why we're getting 93 Slayer. The Crystal Blessing. It drops from the Echo Corrupted Hunwin. It applies crystal armor bonuses to melee, range and mage. We're interested in this because it powers an optional Crystal Halberd Re-Spec for insane melee XP at Maniacal Monkeys, and it's also exceptional for another endgame hybrid mage melee build that we have in store. Which takes us on to the part of the strategy which ties everything all together, Demonic Pacts. These replace combat masteries from last season, and it's far less linear. There's over 130 nodes in the tree, you have access to 40 pack points, earnable through tasks in the leagues, and you can reset the entire tree up to 3 times after unlocking those respecs whenever you defeat each echo boss. It's honestly quite overwhelming if you're a new player, but I've done all the work to put all of this together, so you just need to copy me. Here's the route which ties our entire build together. So our first build, we're going to call Spec 1, is between Pacts 1 and 16. It's called the King's Barrage / Double Chins build. So as we start the leagues, we're going to do tasks which unlock our pacts, and we're going to route down the crossbow tree and get to the King's Barrage. We then route to the Double Chins Demonic Pact, which is slightly on the right, and that's completely necessary to raise to 93 Slayer. Once we're at 93, we kill Thermi, unlock Ecothermi, and farm it until we get both the Devil's Element and Shadowflame Staff. We'll then use one of our unlocked Re-Specs to respec into our second build, which is the PrayAirPen Mage build. Air spells will be cast at 2 ticks, and with 50 prayer bonus gear, we do hit a max hit every time we do hit, and we also have 195% mage accuracy, so we barely miss. Not only that, we have 100% prayer penetration too. We also get a 1-tick attack rate with the Corrupted Staff for our CG grind. The goal here is to complete Echo CG, Demonic Gorillas, and the Doom of Mokalala. Believe me, I'm not overselling this build. This build is absolutely unreal. You get 1-tick CG, 2-tick almost infinite max hits for Demonics and Doom. You don't even need to switch gear. After we've completed CG, Demonic Gorillas, and Doom, we will be then respecing into a optional Crystal Melee build. You don't have to do this, but it is worth it for some insane Melee XP. We're going to be doing this around 34 pacts, so we do want to knock out whatever Demonic Pact tasks we can before we're doing this. But once we do respec into this Crystal Melee build, we'll be using the Crystal Halberd with near infinite spec return and Crystal Blessing, which gives exceptional melee XP per hour at Maniacal Monkeys. This if you want to rocket your melee stats to 99s fast. Skip it, and you still have a backup respec later. For respec 2 or 3, depending on if you went with the optional one or not, we're going to be around 34 to 40 packs in this one. So this build is our endgame build. The best in slot, hybrid, pray air, heal, burn, mage, melee build. This build starts off similar to our PrayAirPen build without the pen, so we've ditched prayer penetration, and we've also ditched the 1-tick staff as we no longer need them, and instead we've balanced our styles to allow for some scope for high DPS at melee focused content like Soul Heredit and Awake Elvis, using a 3-tick Abyssal Tentacle. We also have specced into Water Mage for heals whenever you need it, which makes the meme relic of Eternal Sustenance completely redundant. We've also added Fire Burns for stack damage in AoE niche cases such as Nibblers at the Inferno. This build is well rounded, high performance, and I'm honestly extremely excited to try it out. And finally, for those of you who didn't go with the optional Crystal Halley build, you do have 1 spec left over as a backup or fun build. So if you skip the Crystal Melee respec, this is basically your safety net. Or if you just want to try something silly and fun at the end of the league, go for it. Or if you made a mistake, as the Master of Valleys once said, there are no accidents. And that is the ultimate guide to League 6 Demonic Pacts. All the builds used in this video are linked down below in the description for you to follow along, broken down by the exact route choice for each step of the plan. Wait, before you go, there is just one thing I need you to do out of the following. Smash the like button, subscribe to be part of our journey, and comment down below what your plans are for the new season.